So Daniel, how did our project fare at competition?
In competition, our boat came in 8th out of 11. It did pretty well. It floated. It held 702 grams, or about a pound and a half, which when we did our math for the boat's weight, we figured it's about 86% of its own weight that it was able to hold. So we think it did pretty well overall.
If you could do it over, what would you do?
If I could do the concrete canoe over, I would probably try to max out the size limits a little bit. Our boat was pretty small compared to a lot of the other ones at competition. Even just by itself, it was small, but the walls were proportionately shorter than other boats, and I think that would have helped it to hold more weight. And I wish we'd started meeting a little bit earlier into the project, because then we might have been able to do a little bit more experimenting with ratios and different aggregates, and even making more boats that we weren't able to do because we were pushing it kind of close to the end.
Marcelo, can you provide an overview for the design cycle with our project?
Yeah, so first our question was how to make a concrete canoe. And the way that we essentially tackled this was with research first. So we used multiple forms of research, mostly through books. We also used one website that helped us find the adequate information in relation with the ratios of aggregate to water to cement, and the dimensions for the hull and what would be most effective. So after we developed a lot of research, we started to imagine what we could do with that research, and we started basically starting the principles of prototyping at that point by drawing out what the dimensions might be, the best dimensions, obviously falling under the constraints. And after that, we started prototyping. And with our prototyping, we started creating multiple different sets of concrete canoes made out of different types of aggregate. What we kept constant was the ratios for the water and the cement ratio. And the aggregate was the only thing that we changed up. And we used vermiculite, perlite, and the styrofoam beads you find in bean bags. And the one that worked best was the mixture of vermiculite and perlite. So some of the design challenges that we faced and kind of struggled through were mostly based on trying to find the adequate ratio and the adequate hull design in order to essentially make a floatable concrete canoe that can hold as much as it can. And the way that we addressed this was mostly through more and more research. And I think that if we were able to test out more prototypes, we would have had a stronger concrete canoe that could hold more.
So Jimmy, give some advice to next year's freshmen about the FEDD project.
Alright, next year's freshmen, if you're going to be successful at FEDD Day, you need to start early. We started almost immediately after, except for a couple of days, and we butted up right against the deadline. You need to meet often. We met at least 2 times a week, if not more, and that was just enough time. Every group needs a Marcelo. He wanted to meet every day, and we did not want to, but he really motivated us. And don't assume your boat will float on the first try, because chances are you're gonna need time to prototype and develop your final product. And the last point is you need to be friendly with your group, because if you don't work well together, then you're gonna have a tough time collaborating and creating a successful project. a man who sailed to sea, and he told us of his life in the land of submarines. So we sailed onto the sun till we found a sea of green, and we lived beneath the waves in our yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine, yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine, yellow submarine.